Hi team, hope we're doing well. I hope we are staying safe and healthy during these times. Welcome to my living room. Today I'm going to be filming a stretch and mobility workout for you guys to help you either get your day started nice and gently or a calming wind down for the end of your day. Enjoy the video. So first we're going to start off with a little bit of a warm up. We're going to start off with just some gentle shoulder rolls. Just waking up the joints. And now we're going to go forward. Next we're going to go into some chest swings. Just crossing the arms over each other, alternating directions each side. We want this to be a nice, gentle swing, so we don't want to aggressively swing our arms back. And next we're going to go into some trunk twists. We're just going to twist side to side. And as we twist, we're going to come up onto our toes and pivot on the ball of our foot. Next, we're going to come down to some windmills. We're going to go arms out wide. We're going to bend over our hips, bending into our knee, keeping the arms straight. We're going to alternate sides, having either our heel, ankle, or shin, wherever you're at with your flexibility. And we're going to twist through our torso, shifting our weight from hip to hip, bending through the knees. And next we're going to do some hip rotation. So we're going to plant our foot on one foot on the floor. We're going to lift our knee up, bring it around and down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So up, around, down. Okay, so now we're going to go the other direction. So we're going to lift the knee up, come in and down. We're going to go around and down. Okay, next part of the walk, we're going to do some ankle rotations. So we're going to rotate our toes and feet outwards. Ankles might be a little bit creaky if we're just waking up. And then we're going to go the other direction. Also getting the coordination going at this point. And we're going to go the other foot, going outwards first. other direction. Okay, so we're going to stand at the top of the mat and we're going to take 3 deep breaths in, and as we breathe in, we're going to bring our arms up together and we're going to breathe out, bring your leg down. So take a deep breath in. And now we're going to come in to some chair squats. We're going to take a deep breath in, bringing the arms up, feet pointing forward, sitting into the hips, holding it here for a second and breathing out. Coming up, we're going to do this 8 times, breathing in and down. And repeating the deep breaths again. This time we're going to come up onto the calves as we breathe in. Coming up onto our tippy toes, reaching up. And back into the chair squats. Now we're going to come down onto the floor. Okay, so we're going to start on all fours. We're going to come up into a down dog, onto the toes, hips up in the air, dropping our chest between our shoulders. We can be on our toes if we need to for this one. And we're just going to bend the knees, alternating sides, waking up the legs. From here, we're going to shift forward into the raised plank position, and we're going to do that 4 times, shifting back and shifting forward. And from here, we're going to bring our right foot forward between our hands, dropping our left knee to the floor. We're going to keep our left hand at the side of our right foot, and we're going to bring our right hand up, taking a couple of breaths here to open up through the chest. So we're going to take a deep breath in. As we breathe in, we're going to expand rib cage out. Out breath, we're going to bring our arm down, and then we're going to step back into the down dog again, shifting through our knees, getting the muscles moving. And then we're going to shift from down dog into raised plank another 4 times. Breathing in and out. to step our left foot forward between our hands, dropping our right knee to the floor. We're going to bring our left hand up, keeping our right hand next to the inside of our left foot. Taking a couple of deep breaths here, expanding the rib cage out as we breathe in. And then on the next out breath, we're going to bring our hand down. And we're going to step back into down dog, hold in this position for a couple of breaths. And we're going to come down into a plank position and onto our knees, and we're going to roll over onto our back now. Next, we're going to grab our band or a belt or a towel. We're going to lie back on the floor, bringing our left leg up in the air. We're going to lace the band over our arch of our foot. We're going to hold our leg up in the air. We're going to take a couple of breaths here, stretching out through the hamstrings. You might feel it a little bit through the calves as well. And then on the next out breath, we're going to bring the band out wide, keeping our opposite arm and hip on the floor to help anchor ourselves down. This stretch we should be feeling on the inside of our leg through our adductors. Only going as far as you can keep your opposite hand and hip on the floor. On the next out breath, we're going to bring our leg back up and we're going to repeat that again on the same side, taking a few deep breaths. We're using our breath to help stretch out the muscles a little bit more, to help relax them. And on the next out breath, bring your leg back out wide. On the next out breath, we're going to bring the legs back up. We're going to unloop the band from our foot and we're going to bring our knee in towards our chest, stretching out through the hip a little bit. And then we're going to swap sides, again looping the band around our right foot this time, the arch of our right foot, holding the leg up in the air, using the breath to help relax the muscles so you can go further into the stretch. We should be feeling this one through our hamstrings and again maybe a little bit through our calf if we're feeling really tight. next out breath, we bring the band out wide, keeping our opposite arm and hip on the floor. Only going as far as you can keep that hip and arm on the floor. On the next out breath, we're going to bring the leg up, repeating the same stretch on this side. On the next out breath, bring your leg back out to the side. Next out breath, bring the leg up, unlooping the band from the arch of your foot, and bring your right knee into your chest, just to stretch out through the hips a little bit. So now we're going to come out of the stretch. We're going to just shake the legs a little bit. We're going to bring our arms out wide in line with our shoulders, palms facing up. And then we're going to bring both our knees up into the air. And then we're going to stack our knees over to the right hand side, keeping our knees together and in line with our hip bones. From here, we're going to take a couple of deep breaths, expanding the rib cage out as we breathe in, breathing all the way down to our stomach. After the third out breath, we're going to breathe in, bring our left hand on top of our right, and then breathing out, bring our left hand back over to the floor. As we bring the hand up and over, we want our eyes to follow where our left hand goes to help keep the spine neutral. We're opening up through the chest, getting some movement through the spine, and stretching through the hips a little bit as well. And then on the next out breath, we're going to swap sides. From here, we're going to bring our knees over from the right hand side, back over to the left. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here, pushing the air all the way down to our stomach, expanding our rib cage out as we breathe in. After the third out breath, we're going to bring our right hand on top of our left, breathing in, and then breathing out, we're going to bring our right hand back over to the floor. As we bring our hand up and over, we want our eyes to follow where our right hand goes to help keep the spine neutral. As much as you can, you want to try and keep your knees stacked together. If you can't go all the way to the floor, that's okay. Just go as far as you can. On the next out breath, we're going to bring our knees back up. We're going to bring both our knees into our chest, giving ourselves a little bit of a hug. Taking a couple of breaths here. And now we're going to roll over onto our stomach. So we're going to come onto our stomach. We're going to have our feet up in the air. We're going to place our left hand on the floor with the elbow up in the air. Right hand out, straight out on the floor. And then from here, we're going to rest our head on the floor and we're going to press into our left hand until we get a stretch through our right shoulder and chest. Here again, you want to take deep breaths into your rib cage to help push the stretch a little bit further. On the next out breath, we're going to come out of the stretch. We're going to swap sides. So now the left hand is going to go straight out on the floor. We're going to go right hand planted on the floor with the elbow up in the air. We're going to place our head on the floor and we're going to press into our right hand, getting a stretch through our left side. Again, breathing deep into the rib cage to help push the stretch out a little bit further. On the next out breath, we're going to come out of the stretch and we're going to come up into a kneeling position. We want to keep our right knee in line with our right hip. We want to stand up, bring our left foot out, toes pointing forward. We're going to keep the foot firmly on the floor, keeping the hip bones parallel. We're going to push our hips back, keeping our chest up, sitting back onto our heel, and then pushing from the butt, from the glutes, to stand up. So this is getting some mobility through the hips, and you should also feel a little bit of a stretch through the inside of your left leg. We're only going to come down as far as we can without rounding our back. So if you can't come all the way down to your heel, that's okay. Just go as far as you can. Taking a breath in and out. We're going to do 2 more now. And now we're going to bring our hands to the floor and swap sides. So left knee is going to be directly in line with our hip. We're going to bring our right foot out wide with our toes planted and heels planted on the floor, toes pointing forward. Standing up, keeping the hip bones parallel, we're going to sit into our hip, towards our heels, squeezing our glutes to come up. So this time you should feel a stretch on the inside of your right leg. Breathing in as we sit back, out as we come up. We're going to do 2 more on this side. Now we're going to bring our hands back to the floor and we're going to go into the next exercise. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to grab our band, our belt, or our towel. We're going to sit back on our heels and we're going to hold onto the band with our right hand. We're going to bring it back behind our head and we're going to bring our left hand around, holding onto the band, and we're going to pull the band down with our right hand to get a stretch through the back of our right tricep. If you are quite flexible and this feels too easy and you don't feel a stretch, you can get rid of the band and just do fingertips to fingertips. On the next out breath coming out of the stretch, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So holding onto the band with our left hand, we're going to bring the band behind our head, holding onto the band with our right hand at the bottom, and we're going to pull down with our right hand so we get a stretch through our left tricep. And again, if you're not feeling a stretch with this one, you can go fingertips to fingertips. On the next out breath, we're coming out of the stretch. So next, we're going to come into a kneeling position. We're going to bring our right leg out in front. We're going to take a deep breath in, bring our arms up and around, stretching through the hip flexors, opening up through the side of our body. So we should feel a stretch through here. And again, we're going to take a couple of deep breaths. You want to relax the top of our shoulders, really sink down. Then we're going to bring our arms down onto our hips and we're going to swap sides. So now we're going to go left leg out in front, sinking into the stretch, stretching out through our hip flexors, bringing the arms up, breathing in, relaxing the top of the shoulders and holding the stretch here. Next out breath, we're going to come out of the stretch, bringing our hands onto our hip bones, bringing the leg back, going to the next stretch. The next one, we're going to sit back on our heels again. We're going to bring our right hand across our body, Scooping our left hand under, with our left hand, pulling back, pulling our right arm back so we get a stretch through the back of our right shoulder. Again, holding it here for a few breaths. Swap sides, left hand going across the body, right hand coming up, using the right arm to pull the left arm back till we get a stretch to the back of our left shoulder. And then coming out of the stretch. Okay, so what we're going to do is coming out of the kneeling position, we're going to bring our right leg out in front. We're going to keep our right foot completely firm on the floor, and we're going to shift our weight forward, keeping our foot on the floor. So we're just getting a bit of movement and mobility through the ankles. They might be feeling particularly stiff after a night of sleeping or a day of sitting at the desk. We're going to complete about 10 of these. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Keeping the left foot completely flat on the floor and just shifting back and forth. So now we're going to come up out of the stretch and we're going to go standing up for the next two exercises. Okay, so for the next stretch, if you need to have a pole or a wall to hang on to for a quad stretch, we can do that. Otherwise, if you want to challenge the balance, we're going to bring our left leg up, holding onto our left foot. And you want to keep your right foot planted on the floor to help with your balance and your stability. And we should be feeling a stretch through our left quad. We're going to keep our knees together and push our hips forward. On the next out breath, we're going to come up out of the stretch and we're going to bring our right foot up. And coming up out of the stretch, we're going to put a little bit of pressure on our head with our left hand, and we're going to get a stretch through the right side of our neck. Again, this would be a good one if you've done a lot of staring at computers all day. And swapping to the other side. and then coming out of the stretch. Thank you so much for doing the stretch and mobility workout with me today. I hope we're feeling a lot more calm and relaxed and either ready to start our day or ready to wind down our day. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.